In OWC, we often talk about seeding upsets, matches where the team seeded lower out of qualifiers ends up winning. What we haven't talked about so far in any of these recap videos is pick'em upsets, matches where the team fewer people believed in on the pick'ems website ends up winning the match. The semifinals had more of these pick'ems upsets than any other weekend so far this OWC, including the group stage. Let's break down the first late stage map pool before heading into the matches. This week saw the addition of 3 OWC originals: Skywired Beatscape by Steel Plus in Nomad 3, Peach Pit and Cyanide by Millie in Hidden 2, and Hexa Noir by Elfinsion in Tiebreaker. While the Tiebreaker unfortunately would not see any play this week, every other map was played at least once, a somewhat rare occurrence in semifinals and beyond. The most popular picks of the weekend were DT1, Dread of the Grave, and Nomad 3, while Nomad 2, Miss Victoria, Hidden 2, and DT4, Breathe, were all only picked once. By far the most banned maps were all either Reading or Speed, with Nomad 5, Deno Mienmen Mao, and Hidden 2 racking up 5 bans each as Reading picks, and DT2, Daraku no Sono, and Freemod 2 and Tangle Knight 230 also getting 5 bans each as Speed picks. This left most matches with tons of aim, ult, and tech available for the team to duke it out on, making for some interesting maps within these matches. Poland versus Canada was a match nearly everyone expected to go Poland's way, and for good reason. Poland is the number 1 seed out of qualifiers this year, and they've looked the part, ranking among the top 3 teams of the weekend every weekend so far in the OWC World Cup. Canada, meanwhile, were coming off a close win against longtime rivals Germany and hoping for an upset win against this behemoth of a Polish team. Instead, it would be Poland to take a win on their own first pick, but also a break point on Canada's first pick by under 100k, and a win on their own second pick to start the match off 3-0. Canada would finally fire back with a close win on their second pick of Hard Rock 1.
Onto these big combos for Canada, bringing the score to their side and potentially helping them win their first map of this match. Malashevsky and Milosh can only do so much here with these combos at the end of the map. They're just better for Canada here at the end, Dolan. And Zudinator just gapping the lobby, 700k, 99.7 accuracy. She is the aim queen, and she is the reason why Canada...
But this point would be all they earned in this match. Poland would go on to win Nomad 5 by 600k, breakpoint Canada on Nomad 4 by nearly 500k, and then win their own last pick in dominating fashion. While players always need some support in any 4v4 tournament match, Malashevsky made a case this match for why he should be the MVP this year, gapping the individual performance leaderboard in this match, top scoring both Nomad 4 and Freemod 3 over the course of the whole weekend, and top scoring 5 of 7 maps for Team Poland, playing all 7. With this win, Poland guarantees themselves a top 3 finish, a ticket to the winners' finals, and a profile badge for their efforts, while Canada drops to the losers bracket to fight for that same podium in the losers' finals.
But we will still get to see exactly the score there from Malashevsky. That is going to be not only top score of the map, Dolan, not only top Hard Rock AC by about 0.5%, but also the single best accuracy of the weekend, even among Nomad and Hidden players for Malashevsky on that Freemod 3. Poland winning against Canada in very convincing fashion. Wins on aim, wins on speed, wins on reading, wins on tech, wins on basically everything you could pick in the pool for Poland. That is
the USA versus Australia was our first so-called pick'em upset of the weekend, despite not being a seeding upset. The United States came into this match the underdogs in the public eye despite their long history of excellence in the World Cup due to what many perceived as an underperformance earlier on in the tournament. There were questions after round of 16 and quarterfinals about how well the US would continue to scale into later rounds of the tournament, with former key players like Captain Takedo not having the kind of performance people have come to expect of top USA OWC players. Meanwhile, Australia had looked better by the eye test and by the stats. They dispatched Romania 5-0 in round of 16 and beat South Korea 6-2 in the quarterfinals, top scoring 3 of the most played maps of the weekend in the process, with MREC and a Secret Box both making the top 5 of individual performers. Despite all this, most people believed this match would be extremely close, regardless of who they thought would ultimately win it. This all culminated in nearly 2 out of 3 people voting for Australia in pick'ems, a decision that would ultimately be proven wrong as physically possible, as what can only be described as a one-sided beatdown from the United States ensued. They won this match 6-0, and while Australia got somewhat close to a point on DT2,
Pez finds a break into the ending. Emrek, unfortunately, however, has traded the miss out earlier. It's a double break from the United States, though, and Kloppet's got the combo into the ending. It's 200,000 score, and there's just a little bit of map left to go. Can Kloppet pull up the heroics for Australia? It's superior to find a break into the ending, but no, it's a miss!
They would lose every other pick by 300k or more, with the USA averaging a score difference of nearly 500k across all 6 maps. Highlights included a double FC on Hidden 2 from Boshi and Ethan.
Patterns with that ACK. Emrek with a recovery in the ending to pull up that 97. Unfortunately, not going to be able to hold it into the finish. Big jumps into the ending here. And Boshi, man, hits the final pattern with Ethan Tricks 98.15%. And the only time we see this map picked this weekend thus far, we get a double FC.
Another highlight being a hidden FC from Ethan on Fremod 3 alongside Rectigon's Hard Rock 1 slider break choke.
Now 98.81% accuracy into these final patterns here. Surely there's no miss on these snaps if he didn't miss earlier. And there it is. Ethan Tricks 1 million plus score 98.8%.
And another highlight being Window Life's 99.3% Nomad FC on Fremod 1 alongside a Secret Box's Hidden 2 miss choke.
Ooh, and an unfortunate miss right at the ending of the map from Secret Box. I was about to give a big congratulations for putting up the hidden full combo, but pretty damn close for Box there. 1 million plus 99% accuracy.
And saving the best for last, an FC from both Emrek and Taquito on Australia's first pick of DT1, with Taquito showing up in a big way for the United States on this map. While the American captain looked lackluster in both their round of 16 and quarterfinals matches, he looked stellar in this semifinals bout. The real talk of the town, however, were Ethan Tricks and Boshi Man. The USA's general strategy in this matchup is to abuse gimmick, with these two players at the core of their gimmick roster, so it's no surprise that they looked like those kinds of stars during this match. Australia once again had a Secret Box and Emrek play 5 and 6 maps each, but that would not be enough to carry them to the winners finals. After all, the USA had the highest average score by nearly 500k, with Australia in second place for average score over the whole weekend. In fact, the USA was so strong in this match, they top scored all 6 maps they played. This is an absurd display of dominance from a Team USA looking to reclaim their place on the throne this year. Good luck to Australia in the losers finals and to the US in the winners finals against Poland, and congratulations to Team USA on a guaranteed top 3 finish.
I am just going to continue spotlighting this Taquito accuracy because this is stellar.
This is a phenomenal score from Taquito. And not only is this a break point, but this is a break point on Australia's first pick, and a decisive one at that. And it's just about the worst feeling losing your own first pick like that. So Australia is going to need to take a breather, reset. But it's the United States who have the next pick. They can really try.
South Korea versus Norway followed this trend of being relatively one-sided as South Korea established their late-stage dominance in this match. This match would run identically to Poland versus Canada, with South Korea taking the win on the first 3 maps of the match, including a breakpoint on Norway's first pick, before Norway took their 1 point on their second pick of the match, DT1.
Going to be giving Paper Candle a few pats on the back after this one.
Spin to win? It can't be close enough, surely, with that big combo from Paper Candle.
I don't think so. I think it's too much of a score lead for Norway, although it is quite a long spinner, but 50,000 on a spinner is a lot. In fact, Norway, they're going to be gaining on the spinner anyways, so they'll be okay.
Great team score.
From here, the same scenario would play out once more, with South Korea winning the next 3 maps in a row, though not without some headache on Hard Rock 2.
Full reset for Norway. The difficulty spike on this map is intense. I don't think that scorebar is going to move much. It's 45k at the ending.
We could see some chain misses into the ending. There's definitely time. It's only 20,000 points. If we see any chain misses, there's 2, but it's not enough to march. It's 11,000. South Korea hold on, and they're going to be on match point.
Norway exits the OWC World Cup this year top 12, their best finish since 2018, after finding a clutch win last weekend to make it to the semifinals. They would be unable to carry on this weekend, but they do outperform their seeding by 1 stage, a welcome result for a Norwegian team looking to regain its former glory for years now. Building this team around Neneric has finally paid off for Norway, and they can set their sights even higher in 2026. South Korea, meanwhile, moves on to the top 8 to face the winner of our next match. Congratulations to Norway on this top 12 finish.
Left. This is going to have to go so wrong for South Korea here for Norway to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of missed potential, but there's not much chain miss potential, unfortunately, and that's kind of what you need if you're Norway. They get 3 more misses on that ending just to seal the deal. I'm afraid it is too little, too late for Norway. It's been a valiant effort in this match, but South Korea are just too strong on this pool. So many good picks, and they're going to win this one 6-1.
The United Kingdom versus Russia was our first true upset this weekend, both from pick'ems and qualifiers seeding. Russia would ultimately take this 6-3 in what ended up being a back-and-forth affair between two teams with a long history of many top 8 finishes. The UK started off strong, taking a breakpoint on Russia's first pick of Hidden 3 before winning their own pick of Nomad 1 pretty easily. From there, Russia turned on the gas, winning their own next pick of DT2, followed by a breakpoint on the UK's Hidden 1 pick by only 131k.
Time is going to continue to hold into the ending. And there we
jumps here.
are.
And there we go. There we are. Walter holds on to the ending as well. Those jumps were so difficult here. Plasma also being the one to hold on, but Russia will be taking the breakpoint to equalize the score 2-2. Walter being a massive player here on the side of Russia, doing so much work, getting the highest score in the lobby by also pretty good margin. The closest one is going to be Plasma from 400.
Russia would then win their next pick of Fremod 1 by a convincing 300k before dropping 2 of the closest scores of the weekend. First on Nomad 3.
On 3 of the 4 members, there goes Plasma 60k and dropping. I do not believe, unfortunately, they're going to have enough time, especially not with those breaks from Plasma and Scialistia to fall as well. And that's going to settle it. It's going to be Russia expanding their lead by a little bit into the ending. A final margin of...
Then another super close score on DT1 in what is maybe the most memorably heartbreaking map loss of the tournament.
Yeah, the lead's dropping precipitously. There go Rudge and Bubbleman once more, and look at what that gap is doing. It's coming down so quickly now, with Lexus matching Akalabed, with Welter a bit ahead of Malteser. Gamer matching Malteser, which makes Welter a free combo, might be a better way to look at it. And Dasuk with a decent combo as well, but there goes Welter down, and that's going to stem the tide for just a moment. But there's Akalabed, and that is a humongous break. It's traded with Lexus, in fact. The two FCs go at the same time. Malteser next, Gamer trades in, and we've just traded the entire lobby out. That was breaks everywhere with barely any time left. It's less than 1,000 points. But look at, you've got Bubbleman on 300 combo. That is probably just going to be enough because there's not much left in this map. There's so little combo left that Bubbleman, being the only member of the lobby to hold, is probably all the United Kingdom needs.
There is a spitter though. It might be spin to win the combos. Yes, the map is slowed down significantly, but there is still one large spitter that will decide the fate of this map. Spin to win occurring right now, and who will spin the most will be taking this point.
Oh
Russia.
my, Russia
will
spin!
It be Russia? Will it be Russia? Bubbleman is barely speeding. This is close, and no, by the looks of it, Russia, they will be taking the match point. Spin to win, going Russia's way, as United Kingdom will be losing this map. It's such a heartbreaking fashion.
The UK would rally on their next pick of Fremod 3, though it would take a second try through a late abort that ultimately affected nothing in the match. They won this map by the largest margin of the match, nearly 800k, but already down match point 3-5, there was nothing the UK could do but pray for a breakpoint on Russia's last pick. Those prayers would be unanswered, as Russia picked into the Circle Size 9 Precision DT4 to close out the match cleanly and claim top 8. For the UK, this top 12 finish is certainly a disappointment for a roster no doubt looking to replicate their top 6 finish from last year. It's back to the drawing board for now, and better luck to the UK in 2026. Russia, meanwhile, would move on to face South Korea for a spot in the top 6.
Inside, no combos to try and come back from this ridiculous map. And with that, the United Kingdom, it looks like the final melody will be ringing, as well as that quad of C basically not mattering. The final Ki also will not matter, as the United Kingdom will get eliminated from OWC World Cup 2025 on this DT4 with the score of 3-6 as Russia continues to go on.
While Russia were able to find a win against the United Kingdom, and while they found their way into the top 6 last year, they would find yet another semifinals finish this year. This would prove another very one-sided matchup for South Korea as well, cementing that their top 6 seeding was no fluke, despite the loss of 3 of their best players from the defending champions lineup. South Korea would win the first 5 maps in a row before finally dropping a point to Russia on Nomad 2.
They are not going to let this go down in a sweep as this map closes out. Karcher looking like just that one drop in the middle could have potentially been a ridiculous score hitting the entire ending, but Russia have enough score to close it out here. That massive 800k from Gamer.
That's the first point on the board. Oh boy. 5-1. It is going to be very difficult. But there's signs of life in the side.
This victory would be short-lived as South Korea immediately closed out the match on their next pick. While Russia would not find quite the same level of success as they had last year, this was still a good run for them, finishing in the top 8 as projected by their qualifier seeding, despite an early loss to China in the round of 16. They owe much of their success to Welter, Dasuk, and Lexus playing the vast majority of maps for the team, though they would not have made it this far without clutch support from other members in key moments, especially players like Gamer on Mechanics and Vlados on Hidden. South Korea, meanwhile, advanced into the top 6 thanks to their incredible core roster, once again supplemented by very high-scoring specialists. Congratulations to Russia on the top 8 finish, and good luck to both South Korea and Canada in their losers finals bout.
99.5% hitting all of these small circles, not dissuaded at all. Does find the miss. Won't be the full combo, but I think Karcher has done enough to put Russia out as Dasuk tries their best, but I just don't think there's enough time, and there we go. Russia will lose to South Korea, putting up a dominating 6-1 performance here.
In the other half of the losers bracket, we had Germany face off against Chile to start things off. This match started off pretty back and forth, with Germany winning their own first pick of Nomad 1 before taking an incredibly close breakpoint on Chile's Nomad 4 first pick.
There is a universe where Germany just completely chain misses at the end here.
Wait, Frost.
And that universe might be possible. No one on Chile is missing. It's just Kriller on the combo. This is shifting over very rapidly. If Kriller misses here, this could be disastrous for Germany. He has to hold.
Oh,
I think he's done just barely enough, maybe?
Oh, so
that
close.
That Kriller hold was the only reason Germany kept in that map.
All that for nothing, as Chile won their own pick of Free Mod 4 after taking a break point right back on Nomad 3 to tie things up 2-2.
Of what happened in the last map, them popping off and Kriller popping off on this ending now, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, score lead is going down very quickly, but just not enough time. 180k, and it is breakpoint taken right back for Chile.
After this came the single biggest point difference of the weekend on DT1, with Germany winning by over 1.2 million team score, over 200k higher than the next biggest gap of the weekend. This would be immediately followed by another one of the closest maps of the weekend in Chile's Hard Rock 2 pick.
Somewhat solidly in their favor. Oh my god. What is going on in this ending?
This ending is pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of demon.
Yep. Germany escaping, though, with that one, getting the breakpoint, 37,000 points only. Massive clutch there from Denzel Curry and Kriller, getting that lead up so they could...
After losing 2 points by a cumulative 65,000 points, Chile would go on to lose this match 6-2 after Germany won both Hard Rock 1 and DT3 by convincing margins. With this loss in the top 12 finish, Chile matches their qualifier seeding of 10th after what basically everyone considered a shaky start in the group stage, barely making it out of their group in first after losing to Spain in tiebreaker. While top 12 is a worse finish than the last 2 years for Chile, it is still inarguably a solid run for a team that has only recently found itself a household name in the OWC World Cup. Good luck to Chile in 2026 as Germany moves on to the top 8 to face the winner of our next match.
Holding on to it. 100k score lead. We're going to be saying goodbye to Chile from the OWC World Cup.
They are finishing in line with their seeding, seed 10 finishing top 12, as Germany progresses into the top 8 to face that resurgent New Zealand roster that looked so good earlier today against China. And that one's going to be going on tomorrow, but until then, goodbye to Chile, losing this one 2-6.
As the ball began and Cinderella put on her slippers, riding the carriage to the ballroom, she would find nearly all spectators with eyes on her. This meant, in turn, that she cast her shadow over all others dancing that night. China versus New Zealand simultaneously saw the continuation of one of the greatest Cinderella stories in OWC history, alongside one of the most tragic losses for a team looking for their chance to breach the top 8 again for the first time in 10 years. This match started off with a very close point on DT1.
New Zealand surely have this now on their first pick. It works out, but my god, that was touch and go for so long there.
Yeah, without doubt. Osbert with that huge hero combo at the very end here. When everybody was missing on the very endings of the map, the biggest peaks before the slowdown led to that win from New Zealand coming in. Good spin here from China. We'll have to mitigate the score by about 20k, but by only 67.
This was followed by a very early breakpoint for New Zealand, owing to Seku's 830k pop-off on Nomad 3.
We're on the outro, but 300k is dominating Shiva. This is not a close point. Psyche has taken this map and just took it all the way over to New Zealand.
Psyche.
This is huge.
Psyche, this combo, this recovery is absolutely fantastic. The ending section from Psyche is so brutal for the rest of the lobby, but it's Psyche to FC the rest. What a beautiful reverse.
China would break right back on free mod 1 immediately following, looking to tie it up afterwards.
Gonna put a nice little bow on this point. Final streams, doesn't choke on that last Ki as well. Just the final aim parts to go here for David.
David looking to make this so stylish. I don't know if this is a reverse choker in FC, but regardless of it, it is a fantastic score when the most important times of the map rise up.
And tie it up they would, with China winning their own pick in Hidden 3. Seku was almost able to carry New Zealand to another point on Hard Rock 2 following this, but China's supporting members were too strong.
Recoveries. China as a collective need to keep the pace up going. Kyujin, Psyche go down, Milk Tea to drop. Is there enough time? Osbert to miss on a slider. It's all on Psyche, who has the potential to flick this back in the last quarter. But with how volatile the map's been, China collapsing, it's all on Psyche here. His shoulders mounted with so much pressure. Emelbus, the whole lobby missing around him. As it's just Psyche alone. The gap closing. Is there enough time? Psyche the hero. It needs to be now. Psyche. No way. There is no world. Psyche will fall. Just at the very end. Is there enough time? There's still so little score left. It's only 14,000. Milk Tea with the hero to hold on by the skin of China's teeth.
China were now poised to take another point on their next pick and go up 4-2 in the match, but New Zealand had other plans for China's Nomad 4 pick, with Seku and Kyujin putting on a show on this map.
But is there enough time? I don't know if there is, Doomsday. You've got David on the road to combo, Milk Tea, the last man standing, 150,000 score, there he goes, and that is New Zealand's point locked in. It is a break point returned. This is a tug of war.
New Zealand would then win their own point on free mod 2, but with both teams having a double FC, this map was still relatively close between these two teams. The score was now 4-3 for New Zealand, and China's next pick needed to be good. If they lost this next pick, they would be down match point into New Zealand's last pick at their mercy to close out the match. To try to avoid this scenario, China picked Hidden 1, but New Zealand's clock had not yet struck midnight.
Contrary to last time, will not falter. David falls, Ludofox falls next, and although there are a few misses there from New Zealand, it's not going to change it. 171,000 score, too little for China, despite Crystal's efforts. Everyone collapses, except for Osbert and David. And that's all you want if you're New Zealand. It's a break point. They've taken the steps 2 ahead now. Hidden 1 gone, and DT3 still available for New Zealand. They might have capped it off here.
While New Zealand's fairy tale dream rang true, China's nightmare continued on New Zealand's last pick of DT3 as they fell 6-3, placing in the top 12 for the third time in 3 years, and once again failing to make the top 8 for the 9th year in a row. This year was supposed to be a breakout year for China. It was supposed to be their year to make it back to the top 8, to show they could still make good on their legacy from 2015 and 2016, after they were disqualified during one of their best years in 2022, and they even won in round of 16 to set themselves up for this fate. New Zealand, however, would take hold of that red string themselves to secure a spot in the top 8. China exit once again wanting more. Yes, they matched their qualifiers seeding, but after beating Russia in the round of 16, many expected them to go farther. That said, beating Russia at all proves they have what it takes to do well again next year. Better luck to China in 2026. This upset was massive. Not only has New Zealand never been beyond the losers quarterfinals before, they had only ever won one match in OWC history before this year. This was reflected in the pick'ems, in the qualifier seeding, everything. Even still, New Zealand moved on to the top 8 to fight for a spot in the top 6, yet another first in this fairy tale run.
To do great work, but is this work enough? As New Zealand are building their recoveries. David struggling here. Crystal on that build-up. 100,000 score now eclipsing for China as Milk Tea will drop. It's up to Ludo Fox to hold. But look at this build from New Zealand. No one is missing here. There needs to be a collapse from New Zealand. A quarter map left to go. China are begging for this to happen. 43,000 as the break is shown.
It's with New Zealand. They just got a bit more of this map to go. Just the ending, the outro is all that's left. Hasapi can take this home.
It's up to Hasapi to suppress Ludo Fox. But New Zealand have got his back. This truly is like an anime story with the power of friendship behind the protagonist and Hasapi on this map. As China's clock is ticking down, both of the combos will fall, but New Zealand will keep their Cinderella story alight. This is just magical from this team. They've done it again. China are out. They are gone. New Zealand's story continues as they advance into semifinals.
Germany looked to play the villain and end this fairy tale run, with New Zealand doing everything they could to keep it going. New Zealand would start things off with a win on their own Nomad 4 pick, with Sekou once again touting his MVP status.
I don't think it's going to matter in the ending, Dooms. Germany have more than enough combo to pull it back if there was any time, but there's just none.
It was coming in quick, but yeah, it was too little too late. The damage was already done. First point goes to New Zealand. Their first pick goes their way and looked pretty decisive.
Germany would open with a win on their own first pick of Nomad 1 as well, with Kriller out-carrying Kyujin with a 5-100 FC.
99.9.
Oh, this is ridiculous from Kriller. The anti-aim, the spacing, the overlaps, getting through all of it. Kyujin misses, but Kriller refuses to miss. This is an absurd FC if he closes it out. What is that score from Kriller, man? What?
Oh my god.
That's a crazy score. That is a crazy score.
This next point would prove to be both the closest of the weekend and potentially match deciding on New Zealand's second pick of Fremod 4.
How long can Osbert hold on this hidden though? Psyche drops on that hard rock. It's handed it back over, I think, but still pretty close. Enzo Kuru's gonna break it. There goes Kriller. Kriller's down again there. It's just Okinamo. And Osbert, I mean, that hidden 1v1 though. Okinamo versus Osbert. It's a terrifying opponent on the side of Germany. The face on a hidden 1v1. 99% still shows his comfort.
Yeah, you can see the accuracy difference here is making up about 60k score in favor of Okinamo, but this recovery from Kyujin is completely unmatched by Germany, completely unanswered. As we get to about the final 8 here of the map, and Kyujin has a 900 combo that has not been answered from Germany, but there it goes. Kyujin drops it, and Osbert finds the break on the FC. Okinamo now, the only combo remaining in the lobby, continues to drive through for the Germans. He finds the miss on the final pattern, but I don't know if it'll matter. There's no combo on the board. I think Germany have done it, and I think they'll take this break point, but it's pretty close into the ending. 30k, a single chain miss could do it, Dooms. 20k, New Zealand's holding 10k. It's so close into the ending. Side Frost misses. Is it enough? No.
No, it's not enough.
7,000 points.
Following this break point, New Zealand would now need to find a break themselves, but it was not to come on Germany's next pick of DT1 as their high team score put in work.
Oh my god, he misses on a free combo section. Saiku now matching Tim Kakner, and it's a 230k cushion for Germany. Tim Kakner's going to have to miss, I think, here for Saiku to pull it back. There is a little bit of time, but perhaps not enough. It is 200k to move into the ending, and it looks like that is going to be Germany's point, but man, it was close.
It was so close. I think with that 200k in the slow part, not many notes here. It might not have been enough for Kyujin to reel that in regardless. But still, we're looking at 2 FCs, 1 on each side. Barring no disasters here. A double FC on this, and there it is. Tim Kakner and Psyche take a bow. Especially Tim with the 98%. Getting over some of the issues, I guess the tech issues he had yesterday, but looking real good today. You love to see it. He's back on form.
Now down 1-3, New Zealand turned to a pick they almost won in their previous match, Hard Rock 2. Sekou, this time, was able to clutch the win for the team.
Close score lead back is not where you want to be. Denzel tried though, but Psyche with the 600k again. Another brilliant score from him on the start this time. Actually getting the score where you really should be getting the score this time. But still, 700k nearly. That's big.
Germany would stick with the Hard Rocks with a similarly close outcome, but still win the pick in Hard Rock 3.
That's going to be it. That is it. It was so close, though. Great effort again from the dynamic duo. Psyche Kyujin through that first half there, but Germany making it work in the end. Just a bit better as a team on that, but there really was not much in that at all.
From here, it would be a trade of breakpoints as Germany broke open the match on Nomad 3 with a huge 760k score lead, followed by New Zealand winning on both Free Mod 1 and Free Mod 2, this time with their own 730k score lead. New Zealand, down 5-4, needed just one breakpoint to force the tiebreaker, just one slip up from Germany after losing a previous pick by a mere 8,000 points. After their upset win over China, there were some who believed Cinderella's curfew may have been lifted. After all, in a world with magical shoes and carriages and fairy godmothers, surely one more match would be allowed. Surely one more map is fine. Those who've read any version of Cinderella know, however, that even if there is no curfew, Cinderella always heads home eventually. New Zealand, long past their own curfew, were eliminated here 6-4 in the top 8 on Germany's last pick of Hard Rock 1. I'd like to take a moment to reiterate just how incredible this New Zealand run was. During the initial OWC prediction stream, basically no one thought that New Zealand would qualify highly in this tournament. They went from a team that just last year did not qualify as seed number 44 to swapping 2 members to now qualifying in as seed number 16, winning their group outright 3-0, almost beating the UK, and winning against Sweden, France, and China before finally falling to Germany in the losers semifinals for an overall 6-2 record this OWC. New Zealand, this year alone, played more matches than in all years combined since qualifiers started in 2019. We've had other teams show improvement year over year before, and in big ways too, but from 44th to top 8 is truly something special. They owe this great success to their core 4 roster of Sekou, Kyujin, Emilbus, and Osbert, who played almost all 85 maps for their team. Congratulations to New Zealand on the top 8 finish. Germany, meanwhile, moves on to the top 6 once again. This is business as usual for Germany, as since OWC moved to double elimination in 2014, Germany has never missed the finals weekend. Their medal will be tested this year once again, with Australia as their first opponents in the losers bracket. Good luck to both teams in that match.
Kyujin would have all had to hold into this ending, and I think it would have been enough, but was not meant to be as we get into probably the most difficult jumps of the map there, and we see some breaks. Psyche as well finds the miss, and there it is, Germany. Off the back of Kriller and Tim Kakner are going to close things out right before the tiebreaker. It was close in the ending. It wasn't convincing by any means, but it was not meant to be for New Zealand as they exit OWC in the semi-finals. What a performance from New Zealand this tournament, and to take 4 points against Germany is really something to be so extremely proud of.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and a comment to help the algorithm, and share it with others. The semifinals was a truly wild weekend, with New Zealand having a crazy dark horse run into the top 8, the UK and China both dropping out top 12, and both winners bracket matches being incredibly one-sided. With only 2 weeks left in OWC, now is as good a time as any to make sure you go watch the matches live. Set an alarm, get up early, whatever you have to do. We only have 6 more matches total in OWC 2025, so get watching. And if you can't make it for whatever reason, I've got your back. See you next time.